Here's 24 of the best Wonderkid strikers in Football Manager that you've never heard of. Semih Klenke, I think that's how you say it. For example, he's a 17-year-old Turkish striker who's fairly determined and is going to be very good in the future. All the players on this list have a potential ability range of at least 140 to 170, meaning that they're probably going to be pretty sick in your save as well. And you can pick this guy up for about 5 million quid at the start of the game. Looking underneath the bonnet, my scout tells me that he's a fairly consistent performer, which is something that we always look for. Abdul Karim Kamara is a 19-year-old Belgian striker with a fairly determined attitude here and some really great stats. You can see his determination, for example, is 16 already. Pick him up for around 3 million quid at the start of Football Manager 2024, and my scout tells me, again, he's got a fairly determined attitude. Rhys I is a 17-year-old fast French striker with a lot of potential. You can see dribbling and finishing here are the attributes that he's going to be developing, I think, the most. An asking price of just 550k as well, so cheap. And what's amazing about McQuant is his consistency in this particular save. Such a dark green, very consistent performer attribute here, and the scout report indicates that his hidden attribute between 1 and 20 for consistency is probably around 20. Stefanos Tsimas is a 17-year-old Greek player who can actually win the ball in the air. He's already got 16 heading out of 20. Pick him up for around £2 million, and my scout tells me, yes, he is good in the air, but has a jovial characteristic, or a jovial character, which isn't the best personality trait you want, to be fair. But hey, he can head. Kevin Zeffy is an 18-year-old Irish speed demon who actually plays for Inter Milan. You can play attacking midfield on the left, up front, or on the right, and all the players on this list, by the way, have a hidden attribute of 20 in terms of the striker position. If you didn't know, each position has its own hidden attribute in terms of the player's ability to play that position. All these players can play 20 out of 20 strikers. Interesting with Kevin Zeffy here, he's 15 dribbling, 15 flair, and 14 technique. This guy's going to be great, and he's available for between 100k and £1 million. Wow. Emre Tegal is a 17-year-old English footballer with a resolute personality here in this save, which is very, very good. His stats already are insane as well. Determination 16, bravery 15, anticipation 14, finishing 14. He's good at penalties. I mean, what more could you want? And he's available between 550 and 3.6 million pounds. What an absolute deal that is. Jovan Majatovic, I think that's how you pronounce it, is a left-footed Serbian 17-year-old striker with good stats across the board, really. I mean, we got 12s everywhere when you look at these attributes. Strength, stamina, pace, natural fitness, jumping reach, balance, agility, all 12. He can take corners, he can dribble, he can finish, he's got good technique and good mentality, and again, available for around the £3 million mark. There's so many good deals on the list today. And if you like good deals, make sure you hit subscribe to the channel, right? Because that's a good deal. That's absolutely free. Marko Miljanovic actually has a release clause of £8 million, which, I mean, it's more expensive than the other guys, isn't it? But because considering his value is between 5.8 and £7 million, it's probably a good deal. He's described as a poacher here. He does have a balanced personality and some really good physical attributes in particular. Jumping reach 15 and natural fitness 15 really stand out to me. Reports wise, we are seeing the fairly consistent performer that we do love to see, balanced to normal personality, and again, good in the air. I think it's underrated to have a striker who's good in the air, right? It just adds the extra dimension to your goal scoring ability in your team. Jesus Hernandez is a 19-year-old Mexican striker you can pick up for 800k. Granted, he's not very good at the moment, but he's gonna be good. I mean, with the potential up to like 180 or at least 170, I mean, what could go wrong? Nicolo Tresoldi, though, looks really good straight away. An 18-year-old German with a fairly professional personality and some really good attributes for his age. Dribbling, finishing, first touch and free kick taken all 12, heading 13, technique 13, work rate 13, teamwork off the ball, flair, bravery. I mean, he looks so good. He's almost like ready to play for a top team now. Pick him up for anywhere between 750k and 7.65 million. I mean, that's quite a big range. Listen, my scout's telling me he's a fairly consistent performer already, and yeah, he's good. Maximilian Beer, though, looks like he's even more ready than the previous guy that we spoke about, right? Insane attributes, but you will be paying for those attributes, right? About 10 million quid is the asking price for this guy. Determination 16, work rate 16, natural fitness, pace, acceleration. This guy has the lot. Let's see what my scout says. Yeah, fairly consistent performer. What could go wrong? Matija Popovic, you can pick him up for about £1 million, is a 17-year-old Serbian striker who looks pretty good across the board. Nothing that really stands out as bad, but nothing that really stands out as great either when it comes to his attributes. I'm sure that will change in the future. Balanced personality, a breakthrough prospect with a fairly consistent performer attribute under the bonnet. Sign him up. Will Lancashire is one of the most interesting young English players in Football Manager 2024. He's an 18-year-old and he plays for Tottenham. Granted, again, there's nothing that really stands out in terms of his attributes at the moment, although he is quite good physically. 14 acceleration, 14 agility, 13 pace and 15 natural fitness, and 14 stamina here on this in particular save. Jason van der Veen will cost you about £20 million. He's an 18-year-old Dutch striker with a fairly determined attitude here and has got such good attributes, really well rounded. I mean, if we look at his attributes page, this looks brilliant, and if this grows to there, he's going to be great. Checking out his scout reports, yes, he's a very consistent performer, and that is very dark green, suggesting 18 or above under the bonnet here. Agustin Roberto, the 17-year-old Argentinian with a balanced personality, looks really good. He's got good off the ball here, 14 out of 20, which is excellent for his age, as well as dribbling and first touch. I think he's going to be a great goal scorer in the future. Pick him up for about £5 million, or maybe a little bit less. My scout tells me that he's great, but could have a problem when it comes to injuries. Definitely worth checking out before you buy him. Jamie Donnelly, another one from the under-21s at Tottenham. You might have heard of this guy already, and I mean, wow, look at his stats already. The Northern Irish kid is absolutely smashing it in Football Manager 2024. I'm surprised that Ange Postecoglou hasn't called him up to the Tottenham team already. You're paying English tax though when it comes to Jamie Donnelly and the like. About £26 million is the top end of his asking price, but my scout does like him quite a lot. Sekou Mara is an interesting one that came up for me for the first time today, and I don't know how I haven't really spotted this guy before. 20 years old, playing at Southampton, amazing stats, amazing potential. I mean, determination of 17. You guys who are playing as Southampton, right, you must be playing this guy up front already. Available for about 17 million quid, which is kind of what you'd expect to be paying for a guy with these kind of stats, and he's already a fairly consistent performer. I think he's great. Matheus Nascimento is a 19-year-old Brazilian player who'll cost you around about the same price, but he's very good and very well rounded. Dribbling, finishing, first touch. He's got off the ball, he's got composure, anticipation, and is decent physically. Pavel Melashin will cost you though around £5 million, and although he doesn't look great right now in this particular save, in your save he could be fantastic and will definitely get better. A hugely consistent performer, something worth noting in this particular save. Marhum Huskovic next has got some great attributes. He's a 20-year-old Austrian player with 15 determination and 15 off the ball, as well as 15 pace, 14 technique and 14 work rate. I don't think you can underestimate this stat here, which is work rate, right? Especially when it comes to your forward players. Always really, really nice to have that. Pau Sands will cost you about £1 million. He seems to be coming up in every single video I do. Great potential and such a bargain price. He'd be rude not to sign this guy up. A fairly consistent performer, balanced to normal personality, and just an overall absolute legend. That £1 million, by the way, is a release clause, so just get on it. Ernst Poku plays for AZ Alkmaar. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. He's very quick, he can play on each wing, he can play up front, and is actually 20 out of 20 when it comes to playing striker, which is surprising when you look at his attributes. He looks like a clear winger. It costs you about £10 million, and my scout tells me he's pretty good, although it might be quite selfish, and in this particular save, should probably be a little bit more consistent as well. Sounds like a typical winger again to me. In at number 2 is Rodrigo Ribeiro, available for around £5 million or less at the start of the game. Great flair, great determination, great acceleration, agility, pace, technique, dribbling, first touch. This boy is going to go far. Some are even calling him the next Cristiano Ronaldo already. Interestingly though, his favourite personnel comes up as Cristiano Ronaldo. In at the top though, with a potential ability here in this particular save of 176 is Mohamed Ali Cho. He plays for Real San Sebastian, has some great stats, and will become very good in the future. Mark my words. Acceleration, pace, first touch, dribbling. He's got quite a lot of good things going for him, and that is why he tops this massive list of Wonderkid hidden gem strikers. Thank you so much for watching. I'll make this shortlist downloadable for the patrons. The link for that should be up here somewhere, but please do hit subscribe and see you again soon.